Go.
Go! Teen Titans. Go. Hi. We're back. Bet you thought you wouldn't see us again this week. We're here. It's been 3 days. Hi. Welcome, guys. I apologize for my lack of energy today. I got tattooed today, and I'm feeling a little eepy. But we're back for Chapter 2 of The Haunting of Grayfall Hollow, a Western paranormal original miniseries that I created to help promote this SAGAS Kickstarter, which is still live. It's still live right now. Make sure to go support an indie creator and their really awesome system, which is super easy to pick up, super easy to play, super easy to create your characters, and you can adapt it for absolutely any system, any genre that you want, any setting, like we did. Anyway, Bones, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Little Bones 209. I'm an indie gamer here on Twitch. And Tuesdays, now and then next Tuesday, I'm Mable Clemons. She's out killing bandits. She's got a pal. We love her. And I'm gonna shoot all of you guys in the face, because that's just the kind of lady that she is. Damn it.
Mournian.
Why, hello there. My name is Mournian. I am playing Phil, who is gonna probably talk more crap to Joe today. His pal. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Joel.
Joel.
Jay, go ahead.
I don't know how I can follow that up. Hi, I'm Jay. I'm playing Selma. She is a healer, gunslinger because she has to be, or so they think. I'm all over the internet. I don't really post anything. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't post shit. I'm at TheYellowCubes on most social media, and I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow. Hopefully, some For the King. At 4 p.m. and then, stop by, we'll stream that, talk about nothing. But for right now, watch this.
Yeah, watch this. Hi guys, I'm Myriad. This is my channel, so if you're here, you're in the right place. We do a whole lot of different stuff around here. I do some TTRPG stuff as well as a variety of games. And right now, we're doing some TTRPG stuff. Should we jump into it?
Jump.
Jump, jump, jump.
Jump around. Jump around. Jump up, and get down. So, previously on The Haunting of Grayfall Hollow, we met our band of hooligans, each having received a mysterious letter signed only with the collector, enticing them one way or another to the ghost town of Grayfall Hollow, a town decades past that was plagued by mysterious disappearances and deaths, which may or may not have led to the eventual abandonment of the town. And we're going to start as everyone approaches Grayfall Hollow. The sun beats down on the vast desert. Nestled in the heart of the arid and unforgiving landscape is Grayfall Hollow, barely standing, decrepit, and abandoned. The vastness of the desert around the town is only broken by the imposing, jagged cliffs that guard the town, casting long shadows in the harsh sunlight. You each have made your way to the outskirts of Grayfall Hollow. The journey has been long and arduous. The grit and dust dries your mouth and tongue. The warm water in your canteens, but a small reprieve for the insatiable thirst that has taken over. The promise written in the letters you've received, the only thing that keeps you moving. You're nearly at the entrance of the town when you notice each other. Selma and Mable, you see two men approaching. The two appear to be deep in conversation, nearly missing you both completely. What are the two talking about?
No, really, there was something talking to me.
Look, boy, we done talked about this.
I know. I gotta tinker with this thing. It was talking to me.
We done walked all this way. You haven't been working?
I have been, but I've been trying to sell you on the fact that I did.
No, you've been trying to somehow rationalize the fact that you don't know what's going on. Now, neither of us know exactly what's happening, but it's very important you get your little flipper flapper recorder thing there. That you get that working.
I should have been working on the whole time, I guess.
Well, yeah, instead of jibber jabbering to me.
Okay.
We cut to Selma and Mabel. You're hearing them talking about jibber jabbering and devices, and you're a little confused. Who the fuck are these men?
Didn't they say this was a ghost town?
Well, it did. And I reckon it still is. But, you know, places like this, they attract all sorts of lunatics and ne'er-do-wells. And you would hear the click of the hammer going down on one of her pistols. Just keep your eyes and wits about you. I don't rightly trust these two fellas. They might be insane.
One of them clearly is.
I will say, Phil, you are all too familiar with the sound of a gun about to be fired if you make the wrong move. And you look over and see two women standing before you, who you had nearly missed because you were so disgruntled in your conversation with Joe.
It's Joseph.
Joseph. Sorry, am I not allowed to call you Joe? Only Phil's allowed to call you Joe.
Yeah, we don't have that report.
Now you just sit there and you keep fiddling, and Joe will Phil will look up and see the two ladies. Well, I'll be honest with you, and he's gonna start kind of walking towards you. He is doing so very open. The way Phil carries his guns is not typical. He has them on holsters up near the sides, so his coat is fully covering them, and you can't really even tell he has them. But he's not reaching for anything. He's just walking forward. They said this was a ghost town. I honestly didn't expect to see nobody here. Is everything all right, ladies?
I think you see Mabel's hand on one of her revolvers, one of her pistols, and she's not nervous to draw it, but she is ready to. And she's gonna look at Selma and say, "What do you think?"
Selma is not making a move to grab at her gun at all. It almost seems like she doesn't have one from underneath all her layers of clothes. I don't know. They seem kind enough. As she kind of steps forward with her, pulling her hands out from underneath the like layers of fabric, and she extends her hand to Phil. And hello, I am Selma.
And when she extends her hand, is it out flat or out for a handshake?
It's out for a handshake.
Okay. Phil will walk up. Pleasure to meet you. My name's Phil, and he'll give you a firm handshake. And then his eyes will drift over to Mabel, seeing she's still got her hand on her pistol. And what's your name?
Mable Clemons.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mabel. Now, I can't help but notice you hadn't let loose that iron since you saw us. I can assure you, we mean no harm. This one over here is trying to figure out how to make his little gadget work. Well, hell, I'm just here for the opportunities that may befall us in a possible ghost town.
I'll hold on to my steam wagon, however I damn well please.
Well, that is up to you. That's fair. And you, ma'am, can I ask what brings you here? And he looks back down at Selma.
Oh, I am here following a note.
Now you said a note. Now I got a note too. Well, matter of fact, I'm sorry.
I reckon we all got a note.
It seems like we did, because Joe and I did too. Now, ours had a peculiar seal on it I never recognized. Now, I don't know if you recognize yours. Were yours sealed also?
I reckon we all got a peculiar seal.
All right. Now, she's being unnecessarily aggressive at the moment, so I'm going to talk to you.
No, she's just like that.
Well, that's fine.
She's very kind once you get. She's very. She is great to talk to when you get to know her.
And, well, I look forward to hopefully getting to know her, so she stops looking at me menacingly, acting like she's gonna shoot me.
She's not acting. She might actually shoot you.
No, she's just acting like it at the moment. She hadn't pulled the gun yet. So.
Yes, we did get notes with peculiar seals. And we did not know what would befall us here, so if we could see your notes as well, we will know that you are not telling a lie, and then I suppose she won't shoot you.
Well, now I'm happy to show my note. That's no problem, but you see, here's the problem. Of the four of us, it feels like you two ought not be here more than us two might not be here.
Why do you reckon that?
I don't know. But why do people just stand around on the corner looking for people to shoot?
I'm not looking for nobody to shoot.
Well, your posture show says differently. I've seen many a people in my day who want to get in a fight, and they all stand around with a hand on their pistol all the time.
I think that at this point, Mabel will probably turn her face fully to you, and you will see the large, deep scar on her face.
At this point, I'm gonna ask that Phil rolls sort of like a recall knowledge, like a recollection roll. So it'll probably be like a D12 for you. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. That is a 6.
Mable Clemons. Mable Clemons. And then as she turns her face and reveals the scar, oh, Mable Clemons. She's a bounty hunter of sorts. She's made a bit of a name for herself in the last decade or so that she's been active. She normally hunts down bandits and sort of ne'er-do-wells. She's sort of had a reputation of being a bit of a hard woman. Sort of... What would you describe yourself as, Mabel?
Mabel is a hard woman. She is sort of no nonsense. She's an effective sharpshooter. And I think that it would be common knowledge to anybody who knows of Mabel why she hunts down bandits. They would know the story of her horse ranch being attacked by bandits and her husband being killed and her face being marked. She is protective of those she considers friends. That much is known. And a bit of a misandrist. She does not trust men.
At this point, what is Joseph doing?
Tinkering?
What are you trying to tinker, buddy?
A recording box?
I'm gonna need you to roll me crafting.
Okay. I rolled a 1.
As this conversation is going on, and the three of you are getting acquainted, Mabel and Selma, you sort of look past Phil and you see another man standing there, Joseph, and he seems to not even be paying you guys any mind, as he has out a screwdriver and he sort of has a box in his hand and he's screwing something, and then he sort of rattles it around to sort of see if there's anything loose in there, and it doesn't seem like anything's loose, and then he screws a little bit more and then he rattles it, and then he clicks a button, and the last half of your conversation plays back to you guys in sort of a garbled reverberation.
Upon hearing it, Phil will turn. Well, now, boy, I knew you could do it.
I told you, Phil. I'm gonna
one might be
record
a
it.
Genius.
They're gonna when it tells me to jump again. Oh, I'm gonna get it.
Oh man, I tell you what, I'm excited to see you, buddy. Now, and he's gonna turn back to Mable. Now, you guys haven't really been introduced. This is Joseph. He's a partner of mine.
Can I ask you a question, sir? That's the Phil.
Oh, well, of course, man.
Is that boy touched?
Well, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, probably, but he's loyal. And
I'm so glad it didn't record. Is that boy touched? Is that boy touched? Is that boy...
hey, Joe, hit the button again. It's still talking.
Right. What?
But
Somebody who is. Oh, go ahead.
But I would imagine somebody in your line of work, and he will give you the eye, like he knows who you are now. Could use something like that. You think?
Now, I'm gonna reckon two things here. One, I reckon you know who I am and my reputation. Obviously, it precedes me. With that being said, you are not running for high hell. So, I suppose you're all right. Not to
Damn.
mention, you're obviously a carer for this young man.
We call him special.
So,
But hey, he made this thing work, so I don't know. Maybe he's a little smarter than he let know.
perhaps. But you see Mabel release she'll pull the hammer back and she'll sort of bring her hand out to shake yours.
He will pull his hand or put his hand forward, and when he does, you'll watch. He's not doing it purposefully, but I can imagine Mabel clocks things like this on the regular. As he does, his coat will open a bit, and you'll see both of his pistols, one on each side of his stomach, and he'll just reach straight for your hand.
Right.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
I suppose we're all here for the same reason. We just don't know about it. Selma.
I was gonna say, like, mine tried to lure me here under pretense of maybe a card game. Joe, what'd Joe say again?
Go ahead.
Huh?
What'd it say?
What'd that letter yo say again? Pull it out and read it.
Does he know how to read?
We don't think so.
He pulls it out and hands it to Phil.
Well, now look at this. He done handed me a letter.
See, you asked what it said. You can
It
read
says something
yourself.
about finding out the truth.
Now, here says something about finding out the truth. Now, I don't want to be intrusive, but can I ask what y'all's promised you?
God, what did mine say?
Am I the only one who
Justice.
actually remembers?
Justice. I was promised justice.
When you say that, you'll watch his Phil's demeanor. He's been very candid, smiley. When you say you were promised justice, his brow furrows a little bit, and he gives you just the slightest little forward nod. And you, Selma?
Coin. Dollars?
Gold.
Oh,
Oh, well, we all like that. Nah. I'm a bit of a gambling man myself. Used to be a dentist. I recently decided that practice was no longer fun. So, took hand to moving around, getting me a little excitement here and there. And, Joe here used to be, I'm sorry, let me introduce him the way he would like to be introduced. Joseph. Here, now he's one of my clients. He got some pretty teeth. I done wiped him out all his money, so he kind of follows me around now, and I buy him drinks from time to time.
I could pay for myself
You told me last week you couldn't,
Next
boy.
time.
You lying to me?
next time.
All right, now.
I see.
That's kind of us. Now, it seems that they brought us here under pretenses, and I don't see none of this justice. I don't see no money. I don't see no card games. And he's just gonna kind of look at Joe for a moment. One last time, buddy, what y'all say?
Starts like,
The truth.
oh, yeah, the truth. Of course, I would never
Okay.
forget. Very important letter. You keep telling me how important it is.
I tried to. Yeah, just keep it back there. That's all right. Buddy.
Yeah,
That's
no,
good.
that's
Are you certain you shouldn't put him in one of those sanatoriums that they have?
They're very expensive, but he ain't worth that much.
That is fair.
Plus, he's useful from time to time, you know. Now, I'm sorry, ma'am. Go ahead.
The camera sort of pans from you all to the sign that you all are basically standing in front of. The sign for Grayfall Hollow stands just outside the entrance of the town. You note several of the letters that have been tacked onto the sign have fallen or broken off. The sign itself seems to barely be standing, as though a strong gust of wind might knock it over. As you're about to enter the town, you notice a small etched writing as though carved by a knife. The words, "The letters will guide you."
Curious. Awfully
No.
curious.
What you think that means?
Joseph will look at Phil really quick. Now that I've done, my little recording box here, where the fuck are we again, and why did we come here?
Well, we in Grayfall Hollow. Remember that whole note situation told us?
Oh
all to
yeah,
come?
yep. Okay.
The one that we just had about 10 minutes ago, sir.
It was. Yep.
That is a lengthy amount of time for some folks, I understand.
Quite a while.
He's
Quite a while.
not a-
I'm gonna put my hand on Joseph's head and try to heal it.
Honey, I don't know if laying hands is really gonna do this boy any good, but
Well, you know what?
that's all right. He's all right. He seems harmless.
I mean, we ain't never tried before. If you want to, I say go for it.
Maybe
Roll
he
me
has a dent
a-
in his head?
Medicine check.
Okay. Do I get an advantage for the heal?
So
I mean,
I'm gonna
or,
have
like,
you just
how
roll
does
me
this work?
a straight medicine without the heal right now.
Okay. Which would be a 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we know if there's anything actually wrong with him?
That's gonna be a 5.
You place your hand on Joseph's head, and you're trying to get a sense of if there's something wrong. If there is anything wrong, what is wrong exactly? Like a pendulum swinging back and forth and back and forth. Nothing wrong. There's just not a whole lot going on up there.
Oh, como campana. It's like a bell.
I love when you do that, honey.
Okay.
Now, it's very nice to hear another language. I don't hear other languages very often. Now, what does that mean?
Like he's like a bell. There is nothing inside, just the little. Boom,
Oh, so I was
boom,
right. He is
boom,
stupid.
boom.
I don't
I don't want to be
know.
rude.
Let's see it, and one of you make this little recording box.
I know that I could probably shoot it.
You might want to put. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong accent.
That takes.
Call him Bondulance. He's having a strong.
Now, boy, you might want to put that down before she actually shoots it at your hand.
I would argue
No.
that shooting this takes less brain cells than making it.
Maybe. But I'm pretty fucking good at it. You want to find out?
At this
Let's-
point, Phil's
Let's
gonna
shoot things.
turn around to Joe. Now, I don't know if we should push her. She got a reputation, you see.
Oh, she a lady of the night.
Okay, that might be where you get shot. Phil backs away.
I'm gonna hold my hands up to Mabel and just a pendulum, like a bell, ding
Right.
ding. You know.
Right.
No, you
right.
see our new friend here, Mable, the bounty hunter.
Oh.
And from the
hunt,
tale of it,
man.
it's a
It's the
damn good
most-
one.
It's the most thrilling sport.
But that was a bit creepy, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Blood sport.
It's the most exciting one. Blood sport's still a sport.
Yes, ma'am, it is. Now, Joe, I'm gonna tell you when we're gonna run. I'm just kidding.
I think Mabel will sort of square you up, look you up and down, Joseph, and she'll give you a nod and say, "Now that little device of yours, would that be at all helpful or useful to figuring out why the hell we're here?"
Why we're here? Where are we again, Phil?
All right, buddy.
Can I
I'll go ahead
shoot
and
him
take this
now?
one. I would prefer if you didn't.
I don't know.
I'm gonna unbuckle one of my belts, and then I'm gonna put it around his wrist,
Like a leash.
and then I'm gonna like a leash, and I'm gonna hand it to Phil.
Well,
Do not
he follows
let
real
him-
well. You know, we don't need a leash on him.
If Joseph lets me tie it onto him.
Sure, but it'll be like I made it so, because
Well, okay. You want me to take this one,
Yeah,
Joe?
you
I know,
got it,
I
you
know,
got it.
I know you know what's going on and all, but I'll take it for you, buddy.
thank you very much.
So we honestly thought that these letters were some kind of hoax. We figured we'd come up here, somebody be trying to kill us, or worst case scenario, somebody may be trying to scare us, try to take our things.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing as this place got a reputation for being a ghost town, I figured why not set the trap off, take care of whatever we need to take care of as far as, you know, taking out the trash. And then we can do some looking around, see if there is some ghosts. And if there
There
is,
are.
oh, I understand that, Joe.
And one told me to jump. That's
Well, you
why I
didn't
hate this
jump.
recording.
Whoa. Are you telling me that you were told to jump
Yeah,
by a ghost?
yeah. That's why I'm a good recorder. Because Phil don't
Do-
believe me.
Do you think that maybe you were being hoodwinked?
Oh, we done went through that. He
No,
there wasn't
there
nobody
was
else in the building.
What is a ghost?
You know what? I could be hoodwinked.
Spiritus, you know.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Yes. I like the idea that Mabel doesn't know Spanish, but she does know Latin. But, you know, like when you go to chapel, honey, and you do all the praying to the Holy Spirit.
Oh, yes.
I don't-
Those are around.
I don't know what word you would use for it in your language in Spanish.
Espíritu
Espiritu.
or
Like
fantasma.
Oh, that sounds very jazzy. I quite like that.
That's a good one. That's a good one there.
So are you telling me, Joseph, that a phantasma is out here telling you to jump?
Well, it was over at that house. That's why I made the recording thing.
Ah,
And I was just following Phil as I was tinkering. So I guess
No. right.
won't be able to record that. But I did take some pictures
Ah,
of the broken glass. It broke some glass at me.
Well, now you never told me about no pictures, boy. Can we see them?
hey, let me see them pictures.
There's like one. It's just broken glass.
It's really blurry.
It's blurry.
Yeah.
I
His
wanna
thumb's
see-
covering half of it.
I'm half believing Joseph, so I'm gonna like look at the picture and see if I can find any ghosts in it.
Well, I almost caught the ghost in the picture. I think maybe. I don't know exactly where it was standing, but like I did make sure to at least also get the glass because
Selma, roll me your a knowledge.
Okay.
please get a one.
All right.
That's a D8.
Okay. Here it is. I'm trying to help Joseph. That's gonna be a 4.
As you're staring at this picture, it's blurry. Joseph's thumb is sort of maybe covering about a quarter of it, and it is of a window. And you note that there is some glass that is broken out of the window, but in the part of the window that doesn't have glass broken out of it, is that a face staring back at you?
I'm gonna hold it and I'm gonna look at Joseph and I go, "Oh, he's right here. It's I think a face. I don't
He'll grab
recall.
it and look at it.
That looks like a face. That looks like a face.
See, there's a face, Phil.
Now let me see that, boy.
Is he always that jumpy?
Always. You get used to it.
I see.
Phil, you look at it, and yeah, it's blurry, but it sure does look like there's two eyes, a nose, a mouth just staring right at you. That's just sort of formed, like it's almost as if it's coming from the glass. Like it's you see the planes of the face emerging from the glass.
And does it look like the person who gave Phil his note?
No.
Now that is curious there.
It looks like a woman.
It does look like there's a woman staring right back at me, but it doesn't look real like a reflection almost. Maybe what you make out of that? He'll hand it over to you.
What does Mabel think of ghosts?
That is hard to say. I feel like before she left the ranch after her husband's death, yeah, perhaps she felt his spirit there with her, telling her to go and on her journeys. But I don't know if she really necessarily believes in ghosts. She's not a religious woman. She lost that a long time ago. I think she'll look that over and sort of shrug.
As you're looking at it, Mabel, you kind of glint down at it. I mean, the windows are dirty. It's blurry. A lot of the times, we find when we're looking at something that's not human, a lot of the times we'll find similarities of human features in trees, in the sand dunes around you, in the sky, in the clouds. Perhaps that's what's happening right now with them. It's just a trick of the mind.
That's just dirt, honey. It's a dirty old window. That's all it is.
Oh, so you saying it's one of them pareidolia?
I don't know what the fuck that means, but all right.
Well, that's when you see a face in something, but it's not really a face. You're just making it look like one.
Right, like that. I think
Right.
that y'all want to think that there's a face, but I don't think that you really see a face. I think you see some dirt. I bet you
No.
if we take that same photo right now, where you saw it, we'd get the same face. And I bet you if I clean that window, no face.
Fine, let's go.
No.
Anyway,
Not-
you're
we're
standing
not
outside
going-
of the town, staring at the sign that says to follow the letters. Or the letters will guide you, that is.
Well, we'll have to get back to this face conversation later, but I see merit to both sides. Now, what do we think this means? Follow the letters will guide you. Now, does that mean the letters we got?
He's like, oh,
Oh boy. Phil will walk over and pull the letter out of the pocket he put it in. It's right here, bud. It's
oh,
right here.
thank you. I knew I put it somewhere.
I got you. Now, do you think they mean these letters?
As you hold up the letter, Phil and Joseph, you note that it's not on a clean piece of parchment, in that it's not its own separate piece of parchment. It looks as though the edges of your letters had been ripped, as though it was part of a larger piece of paper.
Just was like, Phil, give me your letter.
Okay, don't mess it up, son. Here you go. He'll pull it out and hand it to him.
Do mine and his.
Yours seems to go together side by side, and it looks like the top edges of both of yours have been ripped.
And then he's like, and Mabel, can I borrow your letter?
She'll sort of hesitantly hand it over.
She'll grab it and she'll try and see if it matches.
It goes on top of Phil's letter.
And then he looks at Selma and he's like,
She's already holding it out.
thank you,
It's Selma.
Selma. And he'll try and see if they like all four go together.
It looks like they all
She's
four
all
go
loco.
together. As you're looking at it, though, it doesn't seem like anything has been pieced together. You have your the separate individual letters to each of you, and then you look at the back, and there's the back is blank.
Well, that was all I got. They
Well,
all
now
go together.
I think I've seen something kind of like this before. You know, a lot of times them dirty cheaters, when they're gambling, they have little secret ways of passing messages around. And sometimes there's something written you can't see.
Oh, that's right. I think I heard about that.
Now the secret is to find out how to make what they didn't want you to see become visible.
Hold it up to the sun.
You know what? That's a good idea.
She's very intelligent.
She is.
As you hold the letters up to the sun, it takes a moment as the papers heat up and ink begins to form. Black ink begins to appear. You're looking at a map.
Oh. I tell you, Selma, you might just be a genius.
And if you guys
And,
want to go over to Owlbear Rodeo, you will see the map that is revealed.
That looks like it's some sort of map.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Phil's gonna kind of look at the map and then look around. Does it look like it's fairly accurate depiction of the town?
You are standing, so you would be entering from the east. So where it says Free Bank with the arrow, you're going to be entering from there. You're looking around, you see a building on your right, a rather large building, and then you look over and you see 4 buildings lining the left side of the road. Yeah, this looks pretty accurate.
It seems like it's fairly accurate. And when looking around, are the buildings in bad shape? Are they?
They're pretty dilapidated. They, from what, who was it that had the information on Grayfall Hollow?
It was me.
Was you? From what you've known about Grayfall Hollow, it's been abandoned for about 20 years. And 20 years in the desert with the winds and the sort of turbulent weather, with no sort of upkeep. The buildings are gonna have a lot of wear and tear on them.
All right. Well, we got a map here, but I still don't know where we need to go. Do we just start rounding around?
Well, you've got a hell of a poker game to get to. You've got some truth to find out. You've got gold to find. And I've got justice to seek.
Oh,
So-
I think I see what you're getting at. Well,
If there's a saloon, there's poker.
well, let me just consult the map here. There is a saloon down there on the far left. Last building on the left. Looks like that should be Rustler's Roost.
Is that where you guys are heading?
I think that's a good place to start.
As you enter into town along Main Street, you'll notice it lined with the dilapidated buildings that once housed saloons, general stores, and homes. The facades of the structures are marked by faded paint, and the wooden boards creak as the hot desert wind whips through. Tumbleweeds roll through the abandoned streets, and the occasional howl of a distant coyote echoes through the stillness. I need everyone to roll me. I think it's going to be like a perception check. Some sort of awareness check.
I reckon my night vision doesn't do me a whole lot of good here.
Mm-mm.
Is
I
it
rolled a
D8?
one.
D12.
D12.
D12, 50, unless you have a skill that would sort of help you with like any sort of awareness or perception.
What if I told you I was real cute?
I'll lower the DC for you.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, 1.
Never mind. I'm gonna go ahead and take my 9 and just sit here and
8.
pretend.
8. Mable?
I got a 12.
All right. Oddly enough, it is Joseph that is the only one to notice this. And you barely notice it at first, but the sun is beginning to set. Odd, considering it felt like just a few moments ago it was high in the sky, and yet here you are watching it starting to dip below the horizon. Darkness beginning to creep up on you all.
Guys, it's getting late.
Oh, but strange.
As you all look around, becoming aware of it, it is really odd. You guys know that you had left, you'd left rather early in the morning to depart here, so should be around mid-afternoon. You didn't travel very far, only maybe a couple of hours. And you hadn't been standing outside talking that long either. But no, the sun is starting to set.
Now, we left right after sunup, Joseph, and ain't but a couple hour walk up here.
I mean,
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I'm a little confused as well as to why it'd be getting dark already. Y'all ever seen anything like that? And he'll look over to Selma and Mable.
There's stories.
What kind of stories?
Can I make a like spirits and afterlife check to
Yeah.
see if maybe it's something like that? That's gonna be a 2.
Yeah, so you've heard a lot of stories throughout your life, and it's often been stories of sort of caution told to you by your parents and your family members, Selma, about the weird effect that spirits can have on the living world. And that sometimes you'll be standing there and it'll be a nice summer day out, and all of a sudden it'll be as cold as winter. Or sometimes, like right now, time works weirdly. Or maybe time's not working any differently, but time for you worked a little differently. Where hours passed when you thought it had only been minutes.
Oh no. Perhaps the spirits are messing with us because I think many hours have passed, but we felt it as minutes. These spirits can interact with the and this is a big word for me, environment.
Oh, well done.
And so, thank you. And so, we may be experiencing time movement.
Well, I don't really know. Surely there's some sort of scientific explanation. Now, I'm not necessarily a woman of science myself, but certainly phenomenons within the weather are possible.
Mabel, I would say that your justification for this could be you guys are awfully tired. You've been riding in the heat all day. Perhaps time actually did get away from you more than you thought it had, but you need water, you need food, you need rest. That could be it. It could just be a very simple explanation.
Yep, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
this whole time, Joseph will have been slowly, ever since Selma said it, he's just slowly grabbing his camera. And he's just because he's trying to sneak up on the ghosts. And then when he thinks he's gonna like try and take a picture of Phil. See if there's like a ghost like fucking with the time around him.
So, question of order. How loud is this camera?
I would say it's one, it's a handmade camera, so it's a little janky. And the button that Joseph uses to take the picture, it gets stuck a little bit, so he's really got to push it down. It really could use some like grease to kind of loosen it up. So you hear a really distinct click.
So the whole time you guys have seen Phil, he's been pretty relaxed. The moment he hears something that sounds like a click where he doesn't know where it's coming from, you're gonna watch him reach in and pull his gun and aim it straight at Joe before he even knows what's happening. What the hell was that, boy?
Camera. I was trying to get a picture of the ghost. She said there were ghosts.
He'll
Or spirits. Is there a difference?
Speculation. I reckon it's just we're just tired.
you almost became a ghost. And
That would have helped so much on proving some of these theories I got.
Okay, well, I'm kind of glad it didn't. He'll drop the hammer and put his gun back away.
As you make your way
can-
through, oh, go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just gonna say, I assume we're walking, I wanted to look around to see if there was like, if it looked like now that there's been some time difference, does it look like people are here or if
No.
something is like stalking? It just looks
Still looks
dilapidated.
dilapidated. You don't hear anything going on. I will say, as you're making your way through sort of the skeletal structures of what you kind of know was a once thriving community, the coyote that was in the distance seems to have moved on, and the wind has hushed as well, leaving the party in a thick air of silence. The only sound really is the crunch of your boot against the dry clay of the ground. And as you approach the saloon, a sudden eek jolts you as the saloon doors slowly open and close. Once, twice, 3 times. And you think that the wind has picked up, as faint whispers seem to dance through the air, sort of like echoes of long forgotten conversations. And then there's sort of like the distant clinking of pickaxes, but that wouldn't be possible. The town's mine hasn't been operating in at least 2 decades now.
Does it sound like they're getting closer?
No, it's just kind of off in the distance. But you look around, there's no lights, there's no lanterns lit right now. And as you become aware of it, and as you start to focus in, it's almost like it blurs, and then it's gone.
Okay. I'm gonna look at the party and, well, I suppose gold or gambling. And I'm just gonna start walking toward the bar or the saloon.
So you guys, the saloon doors had opened and closed, and then they sort of swang until they were still. And you guys can open up you can go into the saloon if you want.
Yep. The promise of tequila is on my mind.
You walk into the saloon, and it's truly like whoever had been here before had just like picked up and left. There's still furniture behind the bar. You can see some pretty good spirits still sitting on the shelves in the back of the bar. There's no one here. It's kind of eerie, actually. Stepping in as you look around, and as you step in, and you're staring at the bar because that's where your eye goes first, Mable. You swear for a brief second you see the shadow of a man standing behind the bar, but then the saloon doors sort of snap shut behind you and sort of draw your attention back, and when you look forward again, there's nothing there.
No, I didn't. I didn't see shit. I didn't see fuck all. I'm gonna go get me a bottle of tequila.
You
right there.
yeah. You walk behind the bar. It's a ghost town. You can fucking take whatever you want.
Damn right. Finders keepers. And I find this bottle of tequila.
As I watch her take it, I'm gonna knock on the bar and then put down like however much that would cost, like maybe a penny or so. And then just push it toward the bar. I don't trust that spirits won't get mad if we take from them.
You
Selma, what
do
the hell
so.
you doing?
You do so. Nothing happens. but it is, sort of your superstition.
Bill's gonna walk behind the bar and grab a bottle of whiskey. He's gonna see the money that Selma put down, and he's gonna try to covertly pick it up without anybody noticing and put it in his pocket.
Roll me like a sleight of hand check.
Baby.
Or thief, whatever it is.
4.
I'm gonna say that you do so. You kind of come up to the bar, reaching over the bar with one hand and steadying yourself on it with the other, and with that other hand, you slip the coins and tuck them into the sleeve of your shirt with no problem. No one's any the wiser.
And he'll pull out 2 shot glasses. Either you ladies like a shot of whiskey?
I'm a tequila lady myself, but she'll, without even asking, she'll just take one of the shot glasses and fill it and toss it back.
Are you guys looking around at all for anything?
Joseph is waiting for his picture to develop.
Phil will take his shot and kind of hold the bottle in his hand as he walks around. He's looking for a poker table.
This is actually a rather small saloon. I mean, it's the town saloon, but it's smaller compared to the one that you were in, the Spurs Luck in Freebank. Excuse me. You're looking around for a poker table, and you don't see anything. You see a couple of tables where they're a little bit larger. You think people might have gathered there, but it doesn't seem like there's a specific gambling den here. If you guys want to roll me like an investigation check.
Are we rolling with an 8 or a 12?
D12, unless you have something that'll...
Oh. Right.
5.
Oh, 6.
Okay.
I got a 2.
Okay.
A 7.
Okay. Who got the 2? So, Phil, as you are sort of roaming around the bar, you note a ledger that's sort of hidden, tucked under on the shelf under the bar.
And I can assume Phil would have an idea of what this is.
It's normally to keep, you would know that it's to keep a tab, essentially. There's probably, the patrons of the bar, who might owe a tab. It's where they would, keep track of the drinks and who, owes things at the end of the night. Yeah, it's like a normal ledger.
He'll just pull it out and start kind of examining it.
Okay. As you sort of go through it, you note that it looks like the owner of the bar's name is Paul Cleary. And you're going through and you note a couple of names in the ledger. You note the name Daniel Larson. You note Sheriff Kinley. You note the name Monroe. Henry Luther. You note a couple of female names as well. Isabella Martinez, Olivia Reynolds, Amelia Sullivan. And then you also will kind of flip through and you'll see that there were a couple of other names, female names, and it looks like these were the saloon girls. These were the girls that worked here. Ava Turner, Mia Anderson, Harper Bennett, Scarlett Foster, to name a couple. And that was like kind of documenting like their pay for the week and everything.
Nothing really looks off about this ledger, and he'll hand it over to Mable.
This looks like a ledger.
Yeah, there's nothing, as you guys are kind of looking around, nothing kind of seems out of place to you. Nothing seems weird. Just abandoned.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it, though. When looking around, does it look like there's ever been anybody looting this place, or?
Oddly enough, no. Which is weird.
I'm just having to notice there's lots of drinks at the bar. There's a ledger left under here. I bet if we look around hard enough, we'll find some money.
If you look into, there's a little an old-fashioned style cash register. Still full of money.
Are there drinks on the tables, or does it look like somebody cleaned up at all?
It looks like there's a glass. There's one glass on a table. On the bar, there's a couple of glasses sitting there. There's actually a plate of food, 2 plates of food that are out, and it seems to be molded. The food's molded. It's that type of mold where it molds and it shrivels up until there's barely anything left.
That just something's unset right with me. It looks like this place wasn't abandoned. It looks like this place, people just disappeared.
Could I have been walking around with one of the because it came with a wax seal, right?
Hmm?
Could I have ripped one of the wax seals off and walked around and tried to see if anything matched it?
So as you're doing that, you're looking and you actually don't see really anything. But you're thinking there are a lot of other buildings in this town. There's a chance that seal might match something in the town.
Okay. There's saloon girls here, right? There was.
Yeah.
I suppose I'd go upstairs and see what I can find up there.
So you go upstairs and it looks like people had just vanished, up and left everything. You see some some lipstick bullets just sort of sitting there. Some rouge that's in a pan. It's sitting on a vanity. This seems to be a shared space amongst the saloon girls. And there's nothing here. That's the thing that's very unsettling.
So all their clothes is here. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the clothes is still left here.
Okay, I'm gonna go back downstairs, and I'm gonna take the rouge and the lipstick.
Okay.
Has my picture developed?
Your picture has developed, and it's a very, very blurry photo of Phil. And he looks equal parts shocked and equal parts about ready to put a bullet through your skull. You're muted.
Am I getting any ghosty vibes?
Are you doing anything?
No. He's I'm just
the vibes are weird.
Okay.
Vibes are musty.
He's gonna go to Phil and be like, I'm gonna go to the building next door super quick.
I don't know how much we need to be splitting up here, boy. There's some weird shit going on.
I was just gonna.
Hey, you do what you feel you need to do, but you hear anything, you holler, all right?
Okay.
You go next door, Joseph, and it is a post office. Roll me an investigation check.
That's a 10.
So you're kind of looking around, and the first thing that you really notice is a huge bulletin board. And there are a lot of missing persons notices on it.
I will take every one of them.
Okay. You take all of them. There are 10 total.
And then with my recording thing out, Joseph's gonna be like, are you the reason all these people are missing?
You hear paper shuffling.
He's gonna dart out of there. He's gonna pause the recording. He's gonna dart out of there and go to Phil. Phil!
Yeah, boy, what's up? Are you okay?
Okay, for starters, here's a lot of missing people. So I asked, and I was not moving. I was not moving at all.
Okay.
I asked, here, just listen, and he'll try and replay the asking and then the paper shuffling sound. He's like, I was standing still for this. Standing still for this.
No, you hear the paper shuffling, but it's papers shuffling.
Now you say you were still, boy.
I
You
was
ain't
standing
moving at
so
all.
still. So still. I know I just took all the papers, but like I had him like
He was probably so excited that the papers were rustling and he didn't even realize it.
I think that Mabel would probably point that out. She's
I feel
the
like this might
papers that
be
you
right.
have in your hand next to the recording device.
fine. I'll you got the paper. I'll be right back.
Now,
Okay.
Can I follow him?
Yeah.
He seems like a nut job.
Yeah.
I'll
Um,
follow him.
Who did you give the papers to?
Phil.
Bill, the notices of the missing persons, these are all in that ledger. All of them, all of the women.
they're
Isabella-
all female.
Yep. Isabella Martinez, Olivia Reynolds, Sophia Mitchell, Ava Turner, Mia Anderson, Harper Bennett, Scarlett Foster, Zoe Lawrence, Amelia Sullivan, and Abigail Larson would be the most recent, but within the last 20 years, recent.
He'll call Mabel over. He's gonna lay them out all on the bar, one right after the other. Now these are the most recent. I don't know if he struck gold over there or not. These missing persons are all ladies, and he's gonna point out each and every one of them.
I think that Mabel's standing next to you. She's got the ledger and she's sort of like cross-examining the two and cross-checking.
So,
well, I mean,
you'll notice that it is like the saloon girls, both the saloon girls and the patrons that were female, as well as one person that isn't mentioned, which is Abigail Larson.
she's not in the ledger.
She's not in the ledger, no.
Strange. Well, I mean, it's a small town.
Mhm.
You know, women go missing all the time, Phil, and that is the crime of the world. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see the orb?
No?
Orb. There was an orb. I just saw it.
I'll clip it on the pod. Now, you're right.
Now who's crazy?
Yeah, you're definitely right. It is unfortunate, but it's awkward to me that the only people going missing are the women. Normally, and I'm just saying this, and he's tiptoeing around his words at this moment. I'm just saying this to say it, but normally when women go missing, men go looking for them and end up missing too.
I think at this, Mabel would laugh at you. Dead in your face. Full of fucking shit. Men think they go looking. Men put up a little facade. But trust me, when a lady goes missing, that's it. She's done for. So, do I think that it is a little bit strange that all of the women in this ledger match up with the women in the missing photos? A little bit. What was the woman's? Well, I'm sorry. What was the woman's name who's not in the ledger?
Abigail Larson.
I think Mabel would point to that one. That's the one that I'm most interested in. There's a tiny little town. Everybody goes to the saloon in a tiny little town. She's not there. Who the hell is this?
That's a good question. I didn't mean to rattle any nerves there, but it's very strange to me that all these women go missing, not a single man.
I'd like
Where
to
did
know more about the
Joseph?
sheriff.
Where did
Me as well.
Joseph and Selma go?
Back to the post office, because that's where he heard a lot of noise.
You're sort of like holding your recording device up and around, trying to sort of frantically recreate that noise that you'd picked up, and it's silent.
He's like, no, he's like, Selma, yeah. Okay, I did hear. Let's go one more building over. Maybe it moved.
Okay.
He'll shuffle over to the general store.
She will follow behind.
If you two can roll me a sort of an investigation check.
10 again.
That's gonna be a 2.
Okay. So the general store looks like it was pretty well stocked. You note that a lot of the perishable items that are on the shelves have sort of rotted and molded. So you're kind of staying clear of those. And you're kind of looking around, and you note the bulletin board in the general store has several newspaper clippings on it, Selma. There is a newspaper clipping from early 1968 about disappearances of women throughout the town. And then there is also another newspaper clipping from about mid 1868. And it's talks about bodies being found, but it's not a complete sort of newspaper clippings. It just says bodies found in Grayfall Hollow mines. And then there's another newspaper clipping from late August of 1868 showing the arrest and then the hanging of the mayor, Daniel Larson.
It's like Selma, if you make any noise, we have to stand here perfectly still because they will not believe me. Okay? We can ask stuff. He's gonna hold out the device and be like, "Go, is anybody here? Did you leave the post office to get some groceries?"
Pause and you wait a second, see if there's a response. And you hear a howl in the distance as that coyote makes its return.
It's like,
And
are you
nothing.
summoning coyote over?
Nothing.
May I try?
Sure, go ahead. I'll hand it to you. And he's like, you got to press this button while pulling this lever, and then you got to. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you cup the balls? What was that?
She's trying to
Up the
figure. She's
balls.
pulling the lever while
You gotta
pressing the button.
spit and
I don't know what I'm doing.
You have to spin around 3 times.
it's going.
Toss some salt over your shoulder.
Bop it.
Twist it. Yeah, she's gonna hold it, and she saw the newspaper clippings, so she's gonna hello, I am Selma. I am new here. What are you doing here? What is this? And she'll wait.
You're going to hear voices sort of kind of interlacing over each other, and it seems to be all female voices. Missing.
You are missing? What happened to you?
No response after that.
Joseph will like go over and like hit the stop button. He's like, I'm sorry, it was that. And then he'll run.
Are you okay? I'll run after him. Why are we leaving? Can I take the newspaper clippings?
Mhm.
Like, I'm gonna take them. Those are mine now.
Now, Mabel, you got any red yarn? Just no reason. I feel like it's gonna come in handy here in a minute.
What are Mabel and Phil doing? I imagine you guys, as you guys leave the saloon, you will meet up once
Yeah.
again with Joseph and Selma.
That's what I'm thinking.
But-
I'm thinking they probably she's gonna have the ledger though.
Before we leave the saloon, as Mabel's leaving, Phil's gonna walk up to one of just the random tables. And I mean, I'd imagine Phil's a gambler. He's got a pack of playing cards on him. He's just gonna leave an open pack of playing cards on the table.
Okay.
And then walk away.
All right.
I think that Mabel's tucked the missing person's letters into the ledger, and she's got it kind of tucked up on her arm, and she's walking out, and she's kind of looking either way, looking for Selma and Joseph.
They come rushing out about 2 doors down. Unfortunately, not 3 doors down from you guys. They come rushing out. Well, Joseph comes rushing out. Selma, I imagine, is sort of walking frantically just to keep up with him.
Lord have mercy, boy.
Phil,
What is your
Phil.
problem?
Phil, She did it. She did it. And he'll just play it. Wait, we were not moving. Right? He looks at
All right.
Selma.
All right.
We're
All right,
moving.
well, shut up. Shut up so we can hear it.
As Joseph clicks the button to play the recording, you hear missing, 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 and just a cacophony of different women's voices.
That's the wind.
No, I know. That's a very peculiar sounding wind, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
I've heard strange winds before. There's a mine nearby. Have you ever heard weird mine sounds? Mines have weird sounds, you know.
Yeah, well, that would make sense if we were in the mine.
But they
Mable.
can. The wind will blow.
Now you're trying to make stuff make sense, and I appreciate that. But right now, in this situation, I think we need to be open-minded that this might be some weird shit.
See? I told you that one told me to kill myself.
Okay,
It wanted me to jump to my death.
Maybe you should have listened.
I'm
Okay,
gonna.
That's a bit rude, Mable.
Okay.
I said that so quietly that nobody would have heard me.
I'm gonna hold the newspaper clippings and I'll show them individually, the missing women, and then the bodies that were found in the mines, and then I was gonna look at the picture of the mayor. Does he match any of the like wax seals or anything?
You're looking at the picture of the mayor. No, he doesn't match. The wax seal was a candle with a flickering flame on it. And you're kind of looking at it. It is a blurry, like it's a photo taken in the 1800s. It's pretty blurry. And it was in a newspaper. However,
Not great.
However, I need everyone to do sort of a recollection roll, a history roll.
I got a 1.
Okay.
I'm smart.
I'll
I
let
got
you
a
guess what I
12.
got.
I'm stupid.
What'd you get?
Phil, you and me, brother. Look
Selma.
at us.
I got a 6.
Mable, you're the one that spots it first, but Selma is not far behind you. That was the man that had appeared to you and given you the letter.
I think Mabel did that son of a bitch.
Well, now, what? I don't see nothing. At this point, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
At this point, would Phil have made the connection on the names, Larson?
Between
he
Abigail
looked at
Larson
it?
and Daniel Larson?
Yeah, he's just gonna mull that over in his own head for a moment.
Yeah. You'd have made the connection that they have the same last name. You don't know what the relation is, but you can make a connection that they're related in some way.
That son of a bitch. That Selma. That's the man that was touching magic who gave me the letter.
The man in the hat.
The man in the fucking hat. Remember, he came to you, and he came to magic, and he was touching magic, and then
I don't
he gave
remember
me that
that.
letter. Well, you weren't there when he was touching magic.
See,
That was after. Remember?
he was sitting in the clinic. And
What do you mean?
he
in the clinic.
he was sitting when they were fighting, and then he tipped his hat, and then he left.
But that newspaper article says that man died some years ago. He was hung.
Yes.
And he looks exactly the same. He is not aged. From what you're looking at the newspaper and what you remember, he would have been 20 years older by now, and that's a noticeable difference. There was no difference in what you saw.
But it's blurry.
It is blurry, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad photo. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm mistaken. I'm mistaken. I reckon so.
I'm gonna whisper to Joseph. There is skepticism, and then there is stupidity.
I was thinking the same thing.
I think that you would probably notice that Mabel is a little bit disturbed.
Well, now I can't say much about the man. I didn't get a good look at the man that gave me my letter. I was a little preoccupied trying not to get shot by a lady. However, the name Lawson. Remember those missing photos?
Abigail.
And now this man's last name Lawson too. So
Small town. Surely they're
Now-
kin.
now does it say? Oh, yes, I'll ask. Well, whatever. Now, does it say on that one or that missing poster how old this girl was?
For Abigail specifically,
Yeah,
she was probably around 24.
24.
Young.
And how old does that man look, the mayor?
He looks probably late 30s.
Now I know that a lot of times older men and younger women get together, and that's their business. But you thinking daughter?
Maybe it's no, couldn't be his daughter. Not at that age difference. It ought to either be his sister or his wife.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've heard that's a 15-year difference
Oh.
there.
Are you telling me that man's got his pecker out at 15 years old? I don't think so.
And
Well,
you know what? That's fair, I guess. Now you said you deliver babies, and he's gonna look at Selma.
yes.
How old would you say typically they come in to have a child?
How old would I think they would be?
You would say that normally we're gonna keep it not fucking weird. It's early 20s, like just barely 20. Usually they've gotten married off within like a year. They usually pop a kid out.
Okay. I'll relay that. It's about 20. Usually very quickly after marriage.
I mean, it's not unheard of. He could be her dad, but I guess you're right. Probably sister, maybe wife. Now, she the only one that didn't show up in the tavern ledger. You said, right, Mabel?
Correct. I lost my mouse.
That's okay. I'm
Um,
glad you found it.
I will say there might be a little bit of social etiquette here at play. A married woman, perhaps the relative of a mayor, probably not going to be hanging around the saloon very much.
Yeah, I think that she would probably note that, but still,
Well, let's
a bit odd.
why don't we take a step here in the post office, see if there's any mail that was supposed to go out. Maybe there's some clues in there.
I do love reading letters of other folks. So I don't have to explain myself to any of you people.
I've heard it's a
Okay.
federal offense, but I think in this case we might be all right. I don't see no marshals around.
I make my own laws.
I believe that.
Ain't no law around here, law dog.
Law don't go around here, savvy.
Yeah, I heard you the first time.
Joseph.
We can't just...
We're just quoting Tombstone at this point.
I will say, do not bother going to the post office. You have found everything you will be able to find at the post office.
You know what? All of a sudden, I don't think the post office is so important. Maybe we should go somewhere else. Anybody got any ideas? You looking for the truth? Who looking for the truth?
Yeah.
You looking for the truth. Now, where would you find the truth in a city normally?
Well, what was the one guy? What was the one guy? Well,
know
I mean,
what?
he's just like, oh, I already went 3 out of the 4 buildings, so let's just go down to the far end one.
Can
know what?
I make a suggestion?
No,
Absolutely.
I already made up my mind.
Okay, I'm gonna make a suggestion anyway. Hear me out. We know that the mayor had something to do with these girls' disappearances on account that he was hung and whatnot, and he does have relation to Miss Abigail Lawson somehow. So perhaps we go to the mayor's office.
Well, you
That's
know
what I
what?
was
In a
suggesting.
fortuitous luck, the mayor's office just so happens to be the building he was talking about.
Well, I didn't know which end of the town he was talking about. I'm not so good at map reading.
You know what? That's completely fine.
I
Okay.
don't know my
and
right from my left.
We know.
You guys go into I'm speeding you along right now. You guys go into the mayor's office. And would you please roll me a check to see if you find anything?
How fortuitous.
Can
One.
I use my night vision on this?
Yeah.
Is it dark? Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's dark. It's dark in here. You guys haven't light anything yet.
Can I use my luck? Well, that was a good call. That's a 1. From a 10 to a 1.
You are going through, you find actually the mayor's actual office because there is sort of like a little reception area, and then the mayor's actual office is towards the back of the building. You're kind of rifling through his desk, and you will note that there are several of the missing person notices shoved into the drawer of his desk. And then you will also note another ledger for the mayor, and it seems to note like sort of his business expenses and everything that he's paid for and everything like that.
No. Stay with me here. Why do you think he's got all these shoved in the desk drawer unless upset citizens coming in here throwing them on his desk?
Perhaps. I'm not quite sure.
Let's take a look at that ledger. Does it anything special about the ledger?
This is going to be a very, very high check.
Okay.
You're going to make a... God, what kind of roll would that be? I'm gonna say it's a general intelligence check.
Can I make it as well?
Yeah, anyone of you can make it.
Would I suffer from the naive?
Yeah, you would do a D12 for that.
Okay. That's gonna be a 2.
Okay.
Got a 3.
I got a 1.
Joseph.
Joe, what'd you
8.
get? That checks out.
I went from a 1 to an 8.
Mable, Phil, and Selma. You're looking at the ledger, and you're noting some dates in there from 1868. And you pull out the missing persons notices, and you note that the dates on several of the women's notices for when they went missing match up with entries into the ledger. And these specifically say that the mayor was out of town on business, or he was on a hunting trip, or he went to go visit family in another town. So he, according to this ledger, was not in town when these girls went missing.
How fortuitous.
I think Mabel would quite. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You can go first.
No, go ahead.
Would anybody relay this info to a certain left out person of the group?
Well, what Mabel was going to say was, that son of a bitch was covering his trail.
At what?
I
don't think Selma understood.
All these dates that he was gone was the dates that one of the girls went missing. But what did you do to him, you son of a bitch? And she's kind of like looking down at that ledger real hard.
You're muted again.
He'll pull out his little box. He'll do all the stuff. And he's like, Mr. Larson, did you harm these girls? Did you protect these girls? Did you disappear these girls? Did you?
You hear a creak,
From
but
what
nothing
direction?
else. Behind you.
I turn around. I take a
Selma
picture.
just sort of leaned and readjusted her weight, and the floorboard creaked a little bit.
You very jumpy with that camera there, boy.
I thought it was a ghost.
You know what? I appreciate you trying. Now,
Okay. Where else would you like to go?
May I suggest going to the Larson's house? If there was something to hide, why would he not hide it in his own home, not his
Very true.
office?
Very
That's
true.
true. I don't see their house on the map though.
Number 4.
Oh, I'm just stupid. It's right there. Boy, I might be stupid.
Well, you could be stupid. As you all walk up to the house, you see a flicker of a light in the top floor window. And in that millisecond of a lantern flicking on and off, you see the silhouette of a woman standing there in the window, seemingly gazing down upon you. And then she is gone with the light in that same instance.
Y'all saw that too, right?
Clearly,
Yeah.
there was the wind.
All right. Well, I appreciate that it could have been the wind lighting, and I appreciate it could have been the wind blowing out the lantern, but I don't know how the wind lit the lantern.
It was a phenomenon.
Could have been wind right in your eyeball, all of our eyeballs.
Yeah, sand is in my eyes. Actually, now that you mentioned it, I can't see a damn thing.
Now, something tells me you can always see.
As you guys enter the house, you will note it's a rather nice house. It is the mayor's house. And just right at the bottom of the stairs is a hung framed photograph of a pretty young woman and a man, a finely dressed gentleman. And you realize this is a wedding photo. And as you stare at the photograph, moving further into the house, you almost think that the woman's eyes are following you.
That's also the wind.
Can I go up to it and I'll tell Joseph, like I'll do the thing. It's like the machine. And I'll ask her. I'll go, hello, I'm Selma, and I was wondering if you could help us since you are the lady of the house.
You wait a moment, a long pause, and then through the recording device, a screech. Leave!
Selma, why did you yell like that?
Okay, we have to admit this is no longer the wind. This is weird.
I think that Mabel would kind of give you a hard stare.
I can barely speak your language perfectly. I cannot yell leave.
Yeah, she just said leaf, not leave.
The man has a point, and I don't say that often.
I don't rightly understand exactly what is happening in this town, but the idea and notion that there are spirits floating around is a little bit frightening to a woman who sort of relies on things being able to be shot and killed.
Well,
I don't rightly think I could shoot a ghost. You hear?
Well, I tell you what, if one shows up, I sure hope you try.
Told you. This box is a little bit more complicated than a gun.
Now,
I can make a canoe out of your head, young man.
yep,
And I can show you ghosts.
Those ghosts ain't gonna save you. Regardless, let us move on. Certainly.
Now, I understand you frustrated. I get that. But let's let the cooler heads prevail here. Now, can I see those the missing persons papers one more time?
Mhm.
When I'm looking at them, did Abigail disappear first, last, or in the middle?
Last.
All right. So we got a lady yelling leave. I feel like it's probably Miss Abigail. Sorry for your loss, ma'am.
Would you guys like to roll a check to see if you find anything in this house?
Yes.
Sure, I'd love to do that right now. Do it right now.
Can I use my night vision because I already rolled my d8?
Hmm.
Okay, I rolled a 3.
As well,
5.
roll the 3.
So actually, who got the 2? Joseph?
Yeah.
Joseph, you are the one to find it. Kind of weird that you know to look under a woman's bed. But you do find a journal hidden under the mattress. in the what looks to be sort of the master bedroom of the small house. And the little engraving at the bottom says A.L.
That must be Abigail's.
He'll go take it to Phil. I don't know. Here's what I found something. Don't know if it's anything.
Well, hold on now, boy. Where'd you find it?
Under a bed.
Are you looking
I'm not
for
going to ask why you.
bits?
I was trying to find a
Right.
loose sock.
I don't want to know what you needed a sock for. Now, is this box you found? Is it locked in any way?
No, it's a journal. It's open.
Oh, I'm sorry. He'll start perusing
yeah.
through the journal.
You peruse through it. It seems to be sort of like it's actually spanned sort of from when she was a young, like adolescent, probably about 13, 14, up until the point at which she presumably disappeared and died. You note several entries are kind of weird. They're a little bit frantic. In one of them, it says, "He is a lovely creature, one my eyes have never gazed upon before. I want him, I want him, I want him, and I know he wants me too. I see it in the way he looks upon me, the sly smiles he gives me about town, like we have a secret between us, just him and I." And then in another entry, "It is not fair that all these women can flaunt themselves so openly to him and I cannot. Daniel has cursed me. He has cursed me to lose out on love by tying me to him, mind, body, and soul. I curse him, I curse him, I curse him for doing this to me. I want to be free."
Well, ain't that a turn? And he'll kind of peruse or kind of give them the cliff notes of what he read. And afterwards,
Strange.
we may have a jealousy situation going on with all these missing ladies.
Can I be quite frank with you?
I'd appreciate it.
I think our next destination is obvious. I do believe it is the time to seek out that graveyard.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Well, Mabel and Joe, I think you're both right. Let's he'll take a quick look around, and is there anything in here that looks valuable?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Jewelry,
He's
mostly.
any kind of jewelry he can see and he sees nobody's looking, he's gonna try to pocket it.
Okay. Roll me I think it's like a thievery check. You have that theft.
Yeah.
Stop it.
That's a 2.
Oh, you might as well have just taken the entire jewelry box and just emptied it into your pocket. There's a watch sitting on the bedside table. You pocket that as you're sort of flitting about the room. You note a pair of pearl earrings that you quickly pocket. There's also what looks like a wedding band sitting on where Joseph had found the side that Joseph had found the book on the end table.
He'll pocket everything but the wedding band.
Okay.
And he's gonna examine it a little bit. Does it have any initials, any engravings, anything?
Seems to just be a very simple, plain wedding band. One that probably didn't have a lot of sentimental value.
All right.
Do you think she was having an affair?
I think she was. I don't know that.
Because
I don't know that.
like it seems like she had her eye on somebody.
It seems like she was playing him as the bad guy to keep everybody else away from him while slowly making the women in the city disappear, so she didn't have any sort of competition.
I believe jealousy is clearly at play here.
This does feel like a crime of passion.
That's exactly the conclusion I came to as well.
You're a smart fella there, Joseph.
Perhaps also vengeance.
Maybe he was having an affair and she found out and didn't know exactly who it was.
Or perhaps he was one to make most of his nights most comfortable in that saloon rather in his wedding bed.
Where would we like to go next?
Let's go to that
Graveyard.
graveyard.
Graveyard?
Graveyard.
Okay. You all make your way to Boot Hill Cemetery. The cemetery stands on a lone hill. Grave markers snake their way up, several being broken or seemingly missing altogether. And as you sort of make your way into the graveyard, mist begins to roll into the area, like thick tendrils of fog reaching from the darkness, engulfing first the hill and then spreading through town, settling amidst the dilapidated buildings like floodwater. What are you looking for?
I think Mabel wants to check the grave marker. She wants to check the names.
So as you're making your way through, you'll note that there are 3 names of the missing girls that first pop out at you. And then the last one that pops out at you is Abigail Larson, née Luther. And the date is July 1868. Or date of death.
I think Mabel's gonna stand in front of that, in front of Abigail's grave, and I think she'll crouch down and sort of ask quietly, "Did you do it, girl?"
Hear something in the distance. Or is it in the distance? Or is it in your head? Distance as it gets louder, and it's like a laughter, unhinged, feminine, manic. But you get no other response. And Joseph, you will not have picked that up.
I think Mabel will kind of fall silent, and a hand has fallen to one of the guns on her hip.
Phil will kind of slowly walk up behind her, not being quiet, not trying to make himself seem stealth. I don't want her to turn around and shoot me in the head. He'll make noise as he walks up, and he's not gonna say anything. He's not gonna touch her. He's just gonna peer over her shoulder and look at the gravestone. Now that says née Luther.
Mm-hmm. Luther must have been her maiden name.
Was any of those other girls, anybody in that ledger with the name Luther?
There was.
I do remember one. But I don't remember her name or any. Let's pull out the ledger. Let's look at this.
It wasn't a girl. In the saloon ledger, you note the name Henry Luther. And you will note a grave marker next to Abigail's with Henry Luther.
When did he die?
About 5 years prior. Probably just around the time she was being married off.
Can I make out the time, like how old each person was? How old was Henry?
Henry was in his 50s. That is the father of Abigail. Abigail was about 24. The other girls, you will note that there are 3 other grave markers that match names in the ledger. And those are Sophia Mitchell, Ava Turner, and Scarlett Foster. And those ages are ranged between 20 and 30 at the time of their death.
Did anybody else apart from Mabel hear the cackling?
Nope.
Seems like we got more questions than answers here.
Well, if she was married off after her father's death, I could only imagine that there was one man looking out for his daughter.
Yep.
I'm not sure, or...
Where would you all like to go now?
Well, since we're here, why don't we take a step up here to the Lawson's Corral, see if they had anything in there.
So the corral looks like as though it was mostly used as storage. It's the building part, that is. You do note that the pendant area, probably they had some horses and cows sort of meandering about. There's crates and barrels stacked up every which way, and as you stand there looking around, you swear you can hear a horse whinnying, softly and barely noticeable. But perhaps the wind has just picked up on your own horses, which you left at the entrance of the town. And as you're looking around, you do note hanging on the wall is a sort of like a manifest, shipment manifest. It seems that most of the shipments for the town were dropped off at the Larson's Corral. The most recent one, still dated about 20 years ago, shows an order containing chloroform for Dr. Monroe, though it didn't seem like he had signed off on receiving it.
Well, the doctor, we got some missing chloroform. That's a good way to take somebody out.
Well,
to the doctor's office?
There's no doctor's office.
Never mind, he ain't got an office.
He was part of the
worked at his
general
house.
store, but there was nothing that you would have found there for him.
my next guess would be those mines. Gold and whatnot. Surely there's something there.
I feel like there's still something in the city we ain't found. We don't have a good line. And when we go to those mines, I feel like we're going to find something we don't want to see.
Would you guys like to go to the sheriff's office?
I reckon.
Sure.
You know what? There's a place where I think we should go. It's the sheriff's office.
Justice.
Justice.
Oh shit. That's true.
So you guys arrive in the sheriff's office. It's rather small. You note that there is a desk and then there's about 3 holding cells behind it. You imagine that people probably got thrown in there, kind of like a drunk tank occasionally. There are several reports that you note on top of the sheriff's desk. One of them details how 3 bodies, Sophia Mitchell, Ava Turner, and Scarlett Foster, were found in May of 1868 within a section of the mines that was condemned for being unstable. They appear to have been tied up and their throats slit before their bodies were deposited there. Another report that is dated July 1868, detailing the discovery of the body of Abigail Larson. Unlike the previous bodies found, she was not bound and was found at the bottom of a 50-foot shaft, a broken neck being deemed the cause of death. There are statements taken in June of 1868 from anonymous witnesses placing Daniel Larson in the vicinity of several of the victims just hours prior to their deaths, as well as some of the disappearances where the bodies have not been found yet. And then a final report made in August of 1868 recording the arrest of Daniel Larson on charges of kidnapping and murder. There are interrogation notes that show that he was quote-unquote uncooperative and quote-unquote denied the charges.
Well,
If she fell and broke her neck, I'm inclined to believe it was more of a jump, a leap of faith.
I'm inclined to believe she couldn't live with what she had done. When, what was the date on that newspaper clipping when the mayor was hung?
I believe it was August of 1868.
So wait, that happened after?
He was hung
18
after
1869.
1868.
Okay, let me just fix that.
All of the dates seem to be aligned with the year 1868. It's just most things have happened within the first half of the year. A lot of the disappearances happened within the first 6 months of the year of 1868. Bodies were found in May. In July, Abigail went missing and her body was found. And then in August, the mayor was hung,
Here's
Yeah.
my
being
theory.
found guilty.
Okay.
And I think our theories might align, so tell me if I'm wrong. I reckon Abigail killed herself to go ahead and make her husband, the mayor, look as guilty as possible. She wanted him dead as well. And she avoided being caught by that untimely leap of faith of hers. Perhaps the sheriff was close to zeroing in on her.
I think you might be right.
I will note there are two other places of note that you can go. Are going to be the bank. Actually, at the bank and the hotel.
Let's walk and talk. I got a feeling we need to go to the bank.
I'm always happy to go to the bank.
Let us
Careful,
go.
don't lose any money. On the walk, he would like to kind of go over his theory. Now, the sheriff was missing every time one of these ladies went missing, so he was out of town. Now, what if he was genuinely out of town, or what if he was cheating on her? And every time she would find him, and every time she would kill the girl, and so they hit him in the mind.
Do you reckon they were working together?
I reckon. I mean, there's definitely a possibility. Being the mayor, he wouldn't want his wife going to jail.
No, I reckon not, but that letter speaks to me of justice. If the mayor didn't do it, he wants justice for himself.
What if he was protecting them from all the ghosts?
Why don't you tinker with something?
As you guys make your way into the bank of Grayfall Hollow, you note that the accounts, while it would have been kept quite under wraps by the teller of the bank, is on free display, since there is no teller to keep a hand on them. And you will note, as you're going through, there's a lot of different, there's withdrawals and deposits that are being made in the bank. They seem pretty standard. It seems to be for, services rendered and whatnot. But there are three things that you note that were done by Abigail Larson herself. Large sums of money that were transferred to three people in town. Kinley, Pearson, and Monroe.
Seems as though our dear Abigail had some help.
Seems as though, weren't they all on the ledger as well?
They were on the ledger, and you will remember that in one of the reports, there was a note of anonymous witnesses having placed Daniel Larson at the scene of the crime, essentially, of the disappearances of the young ladies.
Now, somebody remind me, what's the sheriff's name again?
Kinley.
Mr. Kinley.
So why is this young lady giving Mr. Kinley a large sum of money?
Why were there anonymous witnesses that placed the mayor at the scene of the crime? I believe Mr. Kinley might have been one of them anonymous witnesses. So a little bit.
I feel like he's either one of the anonymous witnesses or he's been paid to make a rhetoric.
Altogether possible either way. Mr. Kinley has been paid off.
And I believe the other two may not be anonymous witnesses, but they may be hired muscle because she ain't going to be able to move these ladies by herself.
No, she was just a dainty little thing. I mean, hell, it's a struggle for me to carry a whole man, so I can do it, but it is a struggle.
Of that I have no doubt.
Do the dates of her talking about watching him walk around correlate to the days that he was missing? Like he was not in town? That Daniel wasn't in town?
No. You will note that the that one entry in the journal talking about how saying it's not fair seems to be at the beginning of 1868.
And when's the, and if this is just a shot, if there's nothing of interest, you can tell me that.
Hmm?
When's the last entry into the journal?
The last entry was that entry, the 1868
I'm
one.
jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna step back in here into the vaults and see if there's anything back here we missed. And he's gonna go look for money.
Oh yeah, there's
I also
yeah.
want to go back and look for money because that's what I came here for.
I also want to go out and look for some money.
There's plenty of gold and bills back there. Feel free to take all that you want and all that you desire.
I feel that all three of us would be back there kind of talking while we're slowly trying to put things in our bag without each other noticing, and then we finally notice that we're all doing it, so we just start shoving things into our pockets.
Yeah, that's my
Frantic.
Yeah.
And Joe's up there tinkering with himself.
I like that so much.
All
Okay.
right, well, now we got our fill. I feel like the last place we need to go is the hotel. Anything happens here is happening in the hotel.
You make your way to the Gem Hotel, and you're looking around. It's a rather nice hotel. It seems to be like it would be a nice, besides like all of the moth-eaten curtains and what have you. It looks like it would have been a really nice place to stay. And you look into the guest book, where patrons would check in. And you're looking through, and you note some non-familiar names. Some looks like people probably that were just stopping through, and then you note initials that seem to be recurring. AL and PC.
I see those wanted posters again. I'm looking for a PC.
So you're not looking in the wanted posters. You're going to be looking in the ledger,
That's what I said.
the saloon ledger,
The wind picked
which
up.
is owned by Paul Cleary, the owner of the bar, the saloon.
They were lovers.
Maybe what she was so jealous about was her husband preferred the company of a man to a woman. It's enough to drive a lady mad.
You would note that these days correspond with when the mayor was out of town and the disappearances of the women.
Well, I think we figured out what happened here.
They were both crazy.
That, you know what? You're so sweet. That's right. He's going to kind of look at Mable. And now there's only one question left. We know why she did it. We know what happened. Why did we all get letters bringing us here? And why did I see a lady in the top of that house? I know it was the wind, but just humor me for a minute.
I'm humoring.
What do you, of all of us here, you probably had the most interactions with people who had crazy minds. Or there was a screw loose up there. Apart from Joe, who lives with one constantly.
What do I make of it?
What do you make of these invitations we got?
If I was Daniel Larson, I'd want the truth to be out. I'd want my name cleared.
Now here's the other question. Do you think it's Daniel Lawson haunting this place? And the spirits of these dead girls? Or do you think there's some crazy woman keeping everybody away so nobody learns the truth of what she did?
I think it's both, to be honest with you. I think Daniel Larson's out there riding on that pale white horse. And I think that Abigail Larson is here trying to drive out anyone who might discover the truth.
Can
They're
I make
working
some
against
sort
each
of,
other.
I was gonna say, can I make some sort of spiritual check or spirit check to see if there would be because I don't think that Daniel is haunting this place. I think he's trying to get help to clear this place.
Make a
I
check.
want to know. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I want. Okay.
Make a crazy check.
That's gonna be a. Is it a? Okay, that's a 2. It looked like a 6, but it's a 2.
So
Look like a man.
when you encounter a place that is marred by death, chances are there's going to be a lot of spirits around. And you know that 3 of the girls definitely died. Their bodies were found in the mines. It goes without saying that the 6 other girls' bodies are likely still down there somewhere. Perhaps search efforts were halted. You do note that there was mention of instability in parts of the mine, and parts of it had been condemned for safety reasons. And when a person is not laid to rest properly, their spirit may remain. And when you have a being, a person who committed atrocities against others, their spirit will never be at peace. And so there's nothing else for them to do but to remain where they are. And as for Daniel Larson, perhaps he is bound here because he wants the truth to be known. Or maybe he's trying to redeem his sins that his wife committed. So there's a multitude of reasons that a spirit might still linger, and in an area like this, those reasons could all be occurring at once.
I'll tell them that, but I think Selma is gonna I think maybe we have to find the bodies.
Put the rest of the ladies to rest.
Yes, because Daniel will be trying to point us in that direction, and the woman, Abigail, will not want us to go there.
She wants the world to hate him even after he's dead.
She did curse him.
That's some powerful... I'd call it love, but at this point I think we're going beyond that into crazy.
I wish she hadn't said that. I don't really want to go look for bodies, but I suppose we don't really have a choice.
As you all depart the Gem Hotel, standing at the crossroads of Main Street and Silver Street, you note a finely dressed gentleman standing before you. He tips his hat and gestures up the street towards where you know Grayfall Hollow mines are. And then he disappears. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Devil at Crossroad.
I'm okay
Down
with
to
it.
the crossroad.
Sorry I had to rush you guys through. I truly did not expect everyone to be very into just RPing, and I was like, we have clues, guys. We have clues we need to find.
It's okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I love these characters so much.
You thought that this group?
I know.
Role play?
I know. Listen, I'm
We
sorry.
could've
That was
just
my
roleplayed
bad.
for 5 hours.
You could
You
have.
silly goose.
But thank you guys so much.
We would still be back there looking at the initial letters with each
you
other.
guys, yeah, you guys would still be there. Which is fine. Just not when we're at we have 2 hours. So, I promise 2 hours. We're gonna stick to the 2 hours. Maybe next week we'll do a little bit longer.
A little cheeky longer.
If everyone could please plug your shit. We'll start with Lil Bones.
Hi! It's me. I'm LittleBones309, your favorite indie gamer here on Twitch.tv. And what am I doing this week? Let me tell you. Tomorrow, it's Wishlist Wednesday. We are going to be playing Crowded Followed, which is a game that I'm very pumped to play. It looks really scary and stressful. So if you like spooky stuff and you like indie games, come check that out. Thursday, I got Swashbucklers on the Liching Hour, VTM on Friday, very exciting, and then All We've Lost on Saturday. I'll be back over here, and then Cyberpunk this week as well. And
Hell yeah,
Poison
brother.
Saturday.
Booked and busy. 20 ends.
I didn't give myself a day off.
Whoopsie. I am Mournian. You can find me tomorrow night in both Miri and Bones' chat, being a general pain in their butt. Thursday night, I'm nowhere. Friday night, I'll be over on Vulcan Myth. with some BTM lights. Very excited for that. Saturday morning, all we've lost. And that's it for me. I'm Mournian, and we're gonna kill a banshee next week. Or die, one or the other.
Joel.
Who's to say?
I'm Joel, TactlessRaccoon, or Joseph in this. All we lost on Saturday. I'm Neck. Destroyer spawns.
That was pretty concise. Good job.
That was good. You got
Jay.
information out.
We're
Good
ruining the
I'm Jay.
split.
Hi, I'm Jay. I'm at TheYellowCubes. I'm here playing this currently, and then Saturday I'm playing I'm playing again on this channel on All We've Lost. I play Aleph. I forgot my name. But tomorrow I'm gonna be playing some For the King for a while. It's my first time streaming since forever.
Wow.
So hop in, talk to me. If somebody wants to play Lethal Company with me, please let me know. I don't want to play that by myself. I'm a big old puss. So
We'll get you on some Lethal Company, Jay. And hi, I'm Myriad. This is my channel. If you like TTRPGs and variety games, this is the place for you. We're gonna have a whole lot of stuff coming up in the next couple of months. Thank you so much for that sub, creature. Hi, Weasel. But this week we have, tomorrow is going to be Mass Effect Andromeda. It's Mass Effect Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific. Thursday, you can catch me over on Evandale for Seekers of the Fall at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Friday, catch me over on Folk and Myth for Vampire the Masquerade Lights at 6 p.m. Pacific. And then back here on Saturday for All We've Lost at 11 a.m. Pacific, my D&D 5e homebrew campaign. We have a couple of other things coming up that I'm going to be announcing pretty soon. So stick around for that. But now, we're gonna go raid over into Havoc. I haven't raided Havoc in a little bit. And please, guys, make sure to check out the SAGAS Kickstarter. It is really such a good system, and Dennis, the creator, is just such a nice dude. Generally just one of the chillest guys. I'm so honored that he asked me to help promote this for him and for the Kickstarter. It's been a blast. I've loved running this. And we'll see you guys next week for the conclusion. Everyone say goodbye.
goodbye.
Goodbye.